Purpose of a standard operating environment. A standard setup of a computer's operating system. It is used to maintain similarity of hardware and software. Advantages: cost, maintenance and installation are easier for IT support as they only need one system. Easier to upgrade and maintain software and hardware across a range of company as across a large company as it is one operating system. Disadvantages: the SOE might not meet the needs of every user. Users need to adjust to a new operating system. Network administrator may need to be hired. Role of an operating system. It coordinates aspects of the computer by communicating with the hardware and processing tasks issued by the application software. There are 4 types. Scheduling takes tasks and allocates processing requirements based on their priority and urgency. Managing concurrency manages which processes are running simultaneously and potentially interacting with each other. Managing memory allocations and memory processes for running processes. Managing devices managing hardware devices and other peripherals so that they can interact with the system and each other. Role of a file system. It is used to control how data is stored and accessed. This is done by grouping information into a way where we know where a piece of information begins and ends. Space management. There are 3 types of file systems. Space management refers to how we use and manage space in our storage devices. The storage devices are partitionized. This is the action of breaking up storage into many usable chunks. The advantage is that it eliminates multiple physical storage drives, as we can divide one storage device into many virtual storage devices. File names used to identify where a specific set of information is stored on a file system. There are 2 types of file names. Case sensitive, where my file and my file are different, as one has a capital letter. And case insensitive, where one has a capital M and one doesn't have a capital M, are the same thing. Directories. These are contained in the file system and are capable of grouping specific files into a centralized place. Role of drivers. A program that controls devices attached to a computer system. They act as a translator between a piece of hardware and the operating system. Types of operating system. An operating system coordinates aspects of the computer by communicating with the hardware and processing tasks that have been issued by the application software. There are 3 types. Embedded. The operating system built in and configured to a particular hardware configuration is designed to run a task efficiently. Standalone. Operating system that works on a computer by itself. It does not require any other library or other operating system to boot. Server. Its specific features and abilities required by a client, specifically designed for a task. Purpose of benchmarking to determine system performance. It is to test hardware/software to optimize performance. Benchmarking is an act of running a computer program, a set of programs or other components to assess the relative performance. There are 3 types. Software. Test results for the application used in computing. Hardware. Test results for hardware item in computing. Operating system. Test results for how well the operating system performs compared to other OSs. Purpose of disaster recovery plans. To recover information from man-made or natural disasters. There are 4 types of disaster recovery tools. Online. This is where the data is backed up externally onto an online system. This can be done through 7 tiers. Incremental backup. A backup that only contains files that have been changed or altered since the last backup. A full backup. A backup taken of all the files and folders on the system. And then there is RAID, level 0, level 1, and level 10. RAID stands for Redundant Array of Independent Disks. Level 0 is stripping, which is combining 2 or more physical drives into one logical drive. Data is spread across the minimum of 2 storage devices. Then there's level 1, which involves mirroring, which mirrors the data between a minimum of 2 storage devices, duplicating the first drive to be the exact same as the second. Level 1.0 involves mirroring and stripping, which allows for stripping across a minimum of 4 devices. Data is spread between storage devices and also mirrored. Purpose of the fetch execute cycle. It is a process in which a computer receives information and determines what to do with it. There are 4 stages: fetch, decode, execute, and store. Fetch. The program collects the latest memory from RAM, moves it to the address register, and waits until the control unit issues a read command. Once the command is issued, the data from the address location is retrieved and sent through the data bus to the data register. Decode. Once the current instruction is free, the new instruction is decoded by the control unit. Once the information is decoded, the ALU executes mathematical and logic operations on the data. Store. Once the store command is issued, a write command is issued by the control unit and the data is sent down the bus and stored in main memory. Purpose of architectures for different types of systems. The CPU is in charge of prioriting tasks as well as processing the information. There are 4 types of processing: distributed, sequential, parallel, and multi-core. Distributed is a variety of systems that use more than one computer to run specific programs. Sequential, processing occurs in order that the tasks were received. Parallel, a single computer that uses more than one CPU to run applications and tasks. Multi-core, running tasks simultaneously. More than one task can be processed at a time. Uninterrupted power supply. This provides an emergency power supply during an event of a disaster. It allows you to safely power down your computer to prevent data loss. Benefits of virtualization. Creating a virtual version of something. Ease of maintenance. Server can update the software on computers without logging into each individual's computer. More secure. Software is stored in one secure place. Less cost. A web host can have many virtual private servers on one large one rather than buying more secure hardware. There are 4 types of virtualization: desktop virtualization, personal computer virtualization, server virtualization, and storage virtualization. Desktop, used to emulate whole computers and associated applications. Personal, where a single computer runs simultaneously. Server, multiple operating systems on the same hardware/server using the same processing power and other physical component power. Storage, multiple network storage locations virtually joined in a single physical storage device. Purpose of platform virtualization with application virtualization allows for low-spec hardware and computers with minimal hardware and server-allocated software. Purpose of cloud computing: accessing data and programs over the internet as opposed to your computer's hard drive. Allows the user to run tasks as well as have access to the stored data anytime, anywhere, and on any computing device. The advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing. Advantages: cheaper. Users save money on storage devices as their data is stored externally. Convenience. The cloud can be accessed whenever, wherever there's a stable internet connection available. More storage. The cloud offers more data capacity compared to a physical hard drive. Disadvantages: privacy and security. As your data is hosted externally, it's not easy to ensure your privacy is protected. Unavailability. As the company with the cloud is done, you cannot access your data. Connection. If you do not have a stable internet connection, you cannot access your data. Convergence of technologies, including the continued development of mobile devices. As technology evolves, more and more features will need to be addressed. Mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets are very good at handling these types of tasks that are common in other devices. Instead of creating one device for each task, we can create one device to have multiple tasks. Environmental issues related to the disposal of computer components. Electronics contain harmful chemicals that have a negative effect on the environment. Recycling allows for less resources being used, as we can reuse the old materials. Methods of secure disposal of data. Physical destruction of media, and overriding. This can be done by shredding the components into many tiny pieces from a large shredder. The advantages: it's effective for destroying devices. Large amounts can be destroyed at once, and different types of media can be destroyed at once. Disadvantages: if not done correctly, data can still be recovered from small broken fragments of storage media. Not a safe environmental approach, as the media destroyed cannot be reused. Overriding: to record or copy new data over existing data. Advantages: it is environmentally friendly and is relatively simple to do. Disadvantages: takes a long time to overwrite entire high capacity drives. Only works when storage media is not damaged and still writable. Purpose of intellectual property in the development of ICT systems: protecting original ideas and creations. This allows us to protect these ideas if our creations are stolen. adding a unique logo/symbol that differentiates your product or service from others. Role of law and ethics in the use of ICT systems. There are two types: use of code of conduct, prevention of software and information piracy. Use of code of conduct, a set of rules used to set a standard of behavior and social norms. It outlines particular practices, responsibilities, and expected behavior from its members or users. Prevention of software and information piracy. The illegal use or reproduction of someone else's work. This can be prevented through the use of licensing to ensure your work will not be stolen. Special encryption and software signing methods can be put in place to ensure validation in software.